Whenever I see that a band has come out of the Canterbury scene, I always get excited, and I know when these guys first hit the scene, everybody was just losing themselves and how amazing and how groundbreaking and how just great these guys were. And upon listening to their first two releases, I could see where some of their praise had come from, but I didn't completely subscribe. So when I heard that they were releasing their third album, I wasn't really overly that excited for it, but I still wanted to check it out because even though I didn't really grab onto their first two releases, there was still a lot of great music on those albums and ones that I would praise for. So let's dive into the third album from this band.
I've been longing for Apricity.
Apricity by Syd Arthur. So Syd Arthur is a UK progressive rock band, or an indie progressive rock band. They kind of have the one toe in progressive rock and the rest in more of like the indie scene from the UK, especially within that Canterbury, London, and Brighton kind of an area. Now, as I said at the beginning, their first two albums really made a big hit within the prog scene. So what we find in Apricity is definitely more of the same from the band, and aspects that I didn't really grab onto, and less of the aspects that I did. What I did love about Syd Arthur were their kind of funky uses with time signatures, their inclusion of very acoustic sounds within their sets, as well as playing with different ideas with music and really kind of, I don't know, creating a really great atmosphere within their songs. And unfortunately, this technique has been removed with this album. There isn't as many fun flourishes within time signatures. I will admit, the first song on here of Coal Mine, I do enjoy. It is very simplistic, and it's almost got like a poppy vibe to it, like a very accessible, mainstream kind of a feel, but I do like how this song transitions from being kind of that indie experimental acoustic set that goes into a 4/4 time signature, very accessible, very easy to latch onto. And I like that transition. It felt very smooth and it felt very realized.
Ice and embers, mystery fly like a bird over the sea, bringing treasure.
And I dug it. I enjoyed that track, and so I figured if the band was going into this direction, I figured, okay, I can tag along. I don't mind where they're going. Unfortunately, the rest of the songs that follow it, there's not a whole lot that can be said about them. I mean, the lead vocals of Liam McGill is still stellar and still top-notch. I do like his vocal presence and what he does with his vocalizations. He's got a very clear and a very smooth voice, and I like that it's also a little bit different. So that I enjoyed, and the guitar work is still very stellar, and Raven Bush is still very good on the mandolin, the keyboards, and the violin. And Joel and Josh, I'm not really feeling them all that much on the album. Joel being the bass player and Josh being the main drummist, they're just kind of there to fill in the shoes. I don't really connect very well with what they're delivering. And the more I'm listening to a lot of these songs, I mean, just to bring one, for example, of Sunrays, this song is very poppy and very accessible. It feels also very modern, which is a little bit of a knock, unfortunately, because when I was listening to Syd Arthur in the past, it harkened back to that golden era of like the mid to late 60s within their music, and I love that throwback. But when I'm listening to a song such as Sunrays, I don't know what they were trying to do here, because the overuse of synthesizers and prosthetic sounds don't really mash very well with that acoustic vibe that the band was setting up.
Driving through a ray of sun, was an afternoon in June. I thought of you as I drove on.
And bringing your attention to two songs in particular, and these are kind of ones that, as I was listening to, really drew me out of the music. The first one being Portal. This feels like it could have been lifted right off of a Mogwai album, especially within their last two releases. The use of their synthetic and synthesized noise on that one, the more I listened to it, the more I realized it was almost a blatant ripoff from a lot of those albums. The other song, the second last song of Evolutions, is a straight up ripoff from a lot of the Radiohead albums like Kid A, Amnesia, and In Rainbows. Just the use of the guitar work, I know that they were trying to experiment with sounds and really kind of develop new techniques here, but the more I was listening to it, the more I kept thinking, you know, Radiohead did this better 10 years ago. The one song that I do like, and the one that I did kind of repeat a little bit, was the title track of Apricity. I do like the hooks on this song, and I do like the harmonizations. I like where it went from one piece to another. The problem being here is because it's at the end of the album, and I had to listen to so much coming into it, I just couldn't get behind it 100%, and it felt very flat by the end. Even though this is a fantastic song and one that I thoroughly enjoyed, I feel like this would be a much better single and one that I would put on, say, mixtapes than listen to a full album for. So in the end, unfortunately, this was definitely a letdown for me, and one that I probably won't be coming back to. I would say if you are a fan of this band, give it a listen, see if it's up your alley. But if you're not a fan of this band and you're not really familiar with their material, I'd actually have to say skip it. Go to one of their earlier albums, and hopefully the band will learn from this. They've tried a new kind of spin with their music, and in my mind, it didn't quite work. And I do applaud them for trying a new direction, but I hope that they move on and try a different one, because this one's not quite working for me. But that, again, could just be me. So that's about it. What did you guys think of the new album, Apricity by Syd Arthur? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Whatever you thought, let me know by commenting below. And thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are definitely the best. And until next time, notes out.
Do you try?